Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome back for today's card. Today's card is a little bit of an odd shape. I made it using the Altenew Shadow Play set along with a set of Spellbinder circles. So I'm going to take a piece of Neenah Solar White cardstock that's 10 by 3 3/4, and I'm going to score it at 5 inches, so halfway, and you see how this compares to a standard size card. It's a ½ inch shorter on both sides, and that gives me enough room to have the sun. So I'm going to take a piece of Fog cardstock by Simon Says Stamp, and I'm going to take 3 different Copic markers. First, I colored up and down on this strip W3, and then I'm going to color W1, and now I'm doing a layer of the 0, and they'll all blend together. And then finally I took the W3 and I just did a very, very light layer at the very top, and this is going to provide some dimension for the ground. Alright, so I'm going to take my Spellbinders die and I'm going to cut a circle out of this Neenah cardstock, and I've got 2 different colors of Memento Luxe ink. Now this is pigment ink, and you can definitely blend pigment ink with a sponge dauber. I'm going to go all the way around with this Dandelion color. I'm going to get a pretty good coverage across the whole thing. It's going to be splotchy, but that's okay because it's a sun. It's not going to be perfect. And then this Morocco color was pretty bright, so I got a piece of scratch paper that I could use to kind of wipe off some of the ink every time I dip it into the ink pad. So I made sure I didn't get too much orange because I just wanted kind of a light hint of orange on the edges. So I'm going to go around the circle. And then once I'm done with the orange, I'm going to go back with my Dandelion color, and I'm going to do another thick layer of the yellow. Okay, this is the Fog cardstock that I colored with the Copic markers, and I'm going to stamp the Sunshine Shadow with some wet cement Hero Arts shadow ink. And I'm going to try to get as close to the top as I can, but I'm going to trim it so that it's right exactly at the edge. Now I'm going to use my absorber. And people have asked me a lot about this. I just rinse it with some water and I wring it out so that it's damp, and that's how I use it. Okay, so I've got 2 shadows for the birds. I'm going to set those both up at the same time, and I'm going to ink that up as well with the wet cement ink. I found that the black ink is a little bit too dark for the shadows, and the wet cement is perfect. Now this is my card base that I already cut and scored, and I'm going to hold it in place with a piece of surgical tape. Since it's already folded, I don't want it popping up. And I'm going to place the sunshine using my grid paper and make sure I have enough space with my fog to go underneath it. And then I'll close my lid of my Misty and I'll ink that up now with black. This is VersaFine Black Onyx. And I stamp it right down in the middle. And now I'm going to arrange my birds, and you can see I used my fog piece as a base to make sure that I was stamping them on the right letters. So the shadow on the sunshine should match where the birds are on the word sunshine. And then finally I'm going to stamp my tree. I'm using sepia, vintage sepia ink. It's kind of a lighter brown. I'm going to make it even with the sunshine. Now I've got my inked up sun, and I'm going to place it so that it's a ½ inch above and off to the side. So I'm going to use my ruler to kind of measure it here. And I've got just a little piece of tape runner underneath just to keep it in place. And now I'm going to put it right on the corner of my Cricut mat so that it sticks there. And then I'll put the tree and make sure it's lined up with the stamp that I already did on the white cardstock. It came off there, but it was okay. It didn't come off my Cricut mat. And then I'll remove the white underneath, and this just makes sure that I've got the sun exactly lined up with the white cardstock. And I just put a Post-it underneath there so that I wouldn't get any ink on my Cricut mat. And so now when I put it on my card, you'll see that it'll overlay just perfectly. Alright, now I'm going to do a little bit of coloring. I decided on B21 and B24 for the birds. They're so tiny that you can barely even tell that there's 2 colors there. But I wanted to add a little bit of brightness, so I added blue to these birds. Now for the tree, I did chocolate chip, which is a it's a brown. It's pretty dark, but it's not as dark as the espresso. And the sepia is a light brown, so it's almost like when you have a shadow, you have kind of a brightness around the edge, and that'll be my sepia in the outline of the stamp. I'll have chocolate chip on the left, and then I'll have espresso on the right. And so that'll provide a little bit, it all looks really dark in the video, but in the photo you can see it a little bit better, that it provides a little bit of dimension for the tree. And I'm going to do these exact same colors on the yellow piece. And because these markers are so dark, it's okay that there was yellow and orange underneath. Now for the leaves, I'm using Always Artichoke. No shading, I just colored in each one of these little leaves, and then I also did it on the white cardstock as well. And then you can see I'm just making sure I color enough so that it's all covered. Now I'm going to trim this out so my sunshine shadow is exactly at the edge. So here I've already trimmed it, and then I'll line it up right underneath the word. So I'm going to take my tape runner, and notice that I cut my fog piece extra large to make sure I didn't have any problems with having it not line up correctly. And then I'm just going to take my scissor, and I'll use my card base as a guide to just cut it all the way around. Now I'm going to stamp the shadow for the tree, which is going to be also wet cement. I just used my acrylic block for this because I just wanted to get it done quick. And I'll stamp it right there, and it'll wrap around the sunshine. And then I also have the You Are My sentiment, and I'm going to stamp it right above the sunshine, and I'll use my Stamp-A-Majig just in case I need to stamp it again. I didn't need to, but just in case. Okay, I'm going to take my tape runner, and I'm going to put it on the corner of the sun, so make sure I don't do the outside that's going to be showing on the back. I'm going to adhere it to my card base here. And that's the card for today. You can see how it compares to the original A2 card. It actually fits the exact same size envelope. So with the sun, it takes up the full size of the A2 card. And then when you open it, the sun doesn't get in the way at all. So anyway, something different for today. I thought it was cool, and I hope you liked it. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.